From the time I was young, my relationship with my parents, particularly my father, was strained. His final words to me, "You mean nothing to me anymore, never set foot in this house again," still ring in my ears. Supported by Daniel, who was soon to become my husband, I left the family home in tears right after graduating from high school. My name is Sarah, and now, at the age of 37, I've built a life as a farmer. It's been 15 years since that day, and I now realize that I've lived longer away from that house than I ever did within its walls. This realization is bittersweet. Our family home was nestled in an urban setting where my father had a corporate job and my mother was a homemaker. Including my older brother, who was a year my senior, we were a family of 4. My parents often compared us, usually to my detriment, as my brother was always favored. He was treated with a palpable preference that extended to better meals and more lavish birthday presents. His sense of superiority was evident, and he often belittled me, which only added to my sense of isolation. My childhood was marked by a deep loneliness and desperate cries for attention that my parents ignored. Over time, I learned to keep my feelings to myself. The pivotal moment came during my second year of high school. My brother, who was aiming for a prestigious university, was struggling with his mock exams. Frustrated, he often took his anger out on me, and my parents responded by piling household chores on me to give him more time to study. They even tried to sabotage my academic performance to boost his morale. Amid this turmoil, a high school teacher mentioned a rural experience program, a 2-night stay at a host farm where students could participate in daily farm activities like harvesting vegetables and cooking meals together. It was a chance to escape the toxic atmosphere of my home. Despite my father's disdain for agriculture as a career and my mother's mockery of my interest in manual labor, I used my own savings to join the program. Defying my parents for the first time was a daunting yet liberating experience. Reflecting on my journey, the contrast between my past and present is profound. I've come to cherish the peace and fulfillment that farming brings, far removed from the competitive tension of my childhood. Choosing to participate in the Rural Experience Program was a transformative decision for me. Deprived of familial affection for so long, working amidst the refreshing countryside air turned out to be a deeply fulfilling experience. I discovered a new kind of family warmth there. The eldest son of my host family, Daniel, was a year older than me, the same age as my brother. Initially, I was cautious, given our age similarity, but I soon realized Daniel was nothing like my brother. He was both kind and firm, maintained a good relationship with his parents, and treated me with the same kindness. Daniel's parents were genuinely gentle and welcoming, making those 4 days incredibly special. When it was time to leave, the farewell was emotional, with Daniel's mother tearfully telling me I was always welcome back. I promised I would return, and since they seldom used their cell phones, I started writing them letters. Before long, Daniel and I began exchanging letters regularly, which eventually turned into a sort of diary we shared. Our relationship blossomed into a pure, long-distance romance, devoid of physical affection. Meanwhile, my brother struggled academically and ended up in a third-rate private college. Despite my parents urging me to get a job and arguing that a woman didn't need higher education, likely fearing I might outshine my brother, I clung to my dream of becoming a farmer, a dream that had grown during my rural stay. Although one could become a farmer without a college degree, Daniel, who was attending college in the city, inspired me to pursue formal education in agriculture. Despite my family's attempts to deter me, I dedicated myself to my studies. When I passed the university entrance exams, my father was furious, questioning why I, as a woman, needed to attend a better university than my brother. My mother claimed they couldn't afford to support me because my brother needed the funds. Heartbroken by their reaction and following a significant argument, I decided to cut all ties with my family. Daniel, now officially my in-law's son, supported me immensely during this time. He came to pick me up from my family home, and his parents generously covered my college expenses. 3 years later, I married Daniel, and during all my college years, I never contacted my parents or brother. However, at the insistence of my in-laws, we informed my family about our marriage. Daniel felt it was time to face my past, so we planned a visit to my childhood home. It was a hectic period during the planting season, but we managed to schedule the visit for the early summer. My husband and in-laws accompanied me, bracing themselves for what was to come. When we arrived at my childhood home, our sunburned and tanned faces bore the marks of hard work under the sun. To our dismay, my parents and brother greeted us not with warmth, but with ridicule. My mother, with a tone dripping in condescension, mocked our financial status by saying, "No offense, but how old are you exactly? You must be quite poor to be working until you're all dark like this." I asked her to stop, but she ignored my pleas. My brother, with a smirk, belittled our physical labor, further chilling the atmosphere. The gentle smiles on my in-laws' faces froze, and I felt a knot form in my stomach. My husband, standing strong beside me, declared with respect, "We are proud to be farmers." In response, my father laughed mockingly, cutting deep with his words. "Just to make it clear, you're a stranger to us now. You're marrying a poor farmer who has to sweat and work hard. We're going to treat you as if you don't exist. It'll be a problem if you come asking us for money. We don't want to see you anymore." Already disowned at 15, I knew I had been on my own for a long time, but the explicit confirmation hurt. Despite this, I tried to maintain my composure, although the sympathetic looks from my in-laws and Daniel were hard to bear. On the drive home, I quietly wept and resolved to put my biological family behind me. Years passed, and the pain from that encounter gradually healed. I gave birth to 2 children, and my life was busy but fulfilling. I had almost erased the painful memories of my parents and brother. However, one day, a cousin with whom I've always been close and occasionally met after my marriage informed me that my brother was getting married. During our conversation, she mentioned that my parents and brother planned to move into a new duplex after the wedding. Despite our estrangement, my cousin seemed to think I might be involved in family events like weddings or funerals. After finishing the call, a spontaneous urge led me to dial my mother's cell phone number. However, when I tried calling, I was met with an automated message informing me that the number was no longer in use. Puzzled, I attempted to call my father, only to hear the same message. It seemed they had changed their numbers, and without my brother's contact, my options were limited. With shaky hands, I dialed the landline number for our family home. My heart raced as I waited for someone to pick me up. "Hello?" My brother's voice came through the line. "Brother, it's Sarah," I said, hesitating, about to offer congratulations. Before I could continue, he interrupted. "There's no need for you to do anything. You're a farmer. A stranger to me. Don't call me again." With those harsh words, he hung up, and when I tried to call back, I found that I was already blocked. This rejection was painful. Despite our strained relationship, the abrupt dismissal from my brother, whom I still considered family, deeply hurt me. Seeing my distress, my husband immediately became concerned. "What's wrong? Did something happen?" he asked gently. I couldn't hold back my tears any longer and shared the conversation with him. Both my husband and my in-laws reacted with indignation as if they had been personally wronged. "Sarah, your home is here now, with us," my mother-in-law reassured me, her words bringing me to tears again. I couldn't help but wish she were my real mother, given how much more she cared for me than my biological mother ever had. My father-in-law comforted me, saying, "You're happy now. That's what matters. Don't let them hurt you. The one who laughs last is the winner." My husband added, "Let's take their behavior as a bad example and make sure we never become like that, especially for our children." His support was unwavering as he hugged me tightly. "Thank you, everyone," I said, feeling a deep warmth in my heart and realizing how truly happy I was now, despite not having a supportive biological family. This sense of family and support became even more crucial when my business was featured on national television. My in-laws, who were large-scale grain farmers in the American Midwest and grew a variety of vegetables and fruits, often had produce that didn't meet the standards. I had studied food business in college and spent a lot of time figuring out how to sell all the produce without waste. Supported by the local farmers union, I launched an online business specializing in selling jams, juices, and pickles made from slightly damaged fruits and vegetables that weren't marketable in their raw form. My venture quickly became a massive success, particularly popular among mothers eager to provide their children with safe, domestically produced food, and seniors nostalgic for the taste of homemade pickles reminiscent of yesteryear. As my business expanded, I teamed up with other young women who, like me, had married into farming families, as well as with unemployed individuals. Over time, our collective effort transformed this endeavor into a thriving $12 million company. Our success story was so compelling that it caught the attention of national television, resulting in an in-depth report that significantly boosted our visibility. Following the TV broadcast, our company's phones rang off the hook with orders and inquiries. Amidst this flurry of activity, a call from an unknown number caught my attention. I answered without hesitation, only to find out it was my estranged brother. He had seen the feature on my business and was now asking to borrow money to start his venture. I firmly declined his request. Unfazed, he raised his voice, insisting that if I could succeed in business, surely he could too. The irony was not lost on me. This was the same brother who had once dismissed me as a stranger when I was merely a farmer. Rather than dwelling on his financial plea, I asked why our family had not informed me about their recent move. His answer revealed that his wife, a city girl, had influenced the decision to sever ties whenever my name came up. This insight led me to believe that she, much like my brother and parents, did not value our connection. A few hours later, another unknown number called. This time it was my father. He demanded to know why I, a woman, was acting as a boss and accused me of taking a man's job. I explained that both Daniel and my father-in-law were integral parts of the business and that my role was a natural extension of our collaborative efforts. Although somewhat placated, he then questioned why I hadn't reached out to them, to which I reminded him of his harsh disownment years ago. I promptly ended the call and blocked his number. Not long after, my mother rang demanding money. She exaggeratedly claimed I was making $20 million billion a year and insisted that I should send funds home. The continuous demands and accusations from my family only solidified my resolve to keep my distance, as I cherished the peaceful and supportive environment I had found with Daniel and his family. I clarified to my mother that the business generated a substantial total revenue, but after covering expenses and employee salaries, there was little left over. She accused me of lying and shamelessly continued to demand money. I firmly stated that I wouldn't send money to strangers whether I had it or not, and then I hung up and blocked her number, hoping that would be the end of it. However, I was wrong. One day, uninvited, my parents, my brother, and his wife, whom I had never met before, showed up at my in-laws' house. My father greeted me with a surprising announcement. "Hey, Sarah, surprise! I'm revoking the disownment." Their blatant desperation for money was shocking. Even my mother-in-law couldn't hide her disbelief, asking incredulously, "What on earth is going on with you people?" The atmosphere was tense. My father-in-law and mother-in-law looked on silently with disapproval. The employees who had gathered around stared in astonishment. Despite not being welcome, my brother asserted, "The real blood connections are us. We have the right to share in the money you earn too." His wife nodded in agreement with him. I was furious. "I don't think so. We may share blood, but there is no emotional connection. You treated me like a stranger and abandoned me, I retorted. The emotional wounds from my past resurfaced, and I felt tears welling up again. Just then, my husband Daniel came and stood by my side. Sarah is now a part of our family. Even without your disowning her, we are perfectly happy. Please go home, he said, defending me with firm resolve. The employees also voiced their displeasure at my family's rudeness. As I took in the supportive faces around me, I felt a profound sense of belonging. My brother, growing increasingly frustrated, yelled, "Shut up, you country bumpkins, you're all low-educated trash." Daniel calmly replied, "Well, both my father and I are Ivy League graduates, and Sarah graduated from a well-known agricultural university." This revelation about our educational background took my brother by surprise. "Why are you farming despite being graduates of top universities?" he blurted out. Daniel responded confidently, "Farming is a respectable profession where we can fully utilize what we studied in college. It's not about the prestige of the degree, but what you do with the knowledge you gain." This encounter underscored the stark contrast between my biological family's values and those of the family I had chosen. As they left, I was reminded that my true home was with those who respected and supported me, not those who were bound to me by blood alone. In the thick of the confrontation, I couldn't help but burst into laughter, a release from the tension that had built up. "Brother, you've simply lost to Daniel in every respect," I declared, feeling a surge of relief. Perhaps I had always been overly intimidated by my brother and parents. It was time to make my stance clear, once and for all. "We are already strangers," I continued, pausing to ensure my words were measured and courteous. "Therefore, I can't lend or give money to strangers. Please leave and be aware that if there's any disturbance or aggressive behavior, I will not hesitate to call the police and pursue legal action." My in-laws and husband stepped closer, forming a protective barrier around me. Their support was palpable, making me feel deeply valued. The employees also backed me up, vocally insisting that my family leave. Under the weight of glaring eyes filled with resentment, my parents, brother, and sister-in-law had no choice but to retreat. I later learned from my cousin that they had tried to get rich quickly through a flawed business venture and were now teetering on the brink of bankruptcy. However, I resolved to stay out of their financial disasters. My focus was on my path. Surrounded by my true family, my admirable in-laws, loving husband, and delightful children, I cherished each day. The joy of life seemed to amplify following the stressful encounter with my estranged family. I found solace and happiness in the steady support of my in-laws and my husband Daniel, whose unwavering presence was my greatest comfort. Our business continued to thrive. We expanded our operations, continually working with my dedicated team to explore new opportunities and make a positive impact on the community. Our commitment to providing high-quality, sustainable, and affordable products made our business a beacon of hope for those who value hard work and resilience. Daniel's love and support were a continuous source of strength and inspiration. We reveled in raising our wonderful children in a nurturing environment filled with love and respect. As our bond strengthened, our home became a haven of laughter and joy. Over time, the memories of conflicts faded, replaced by the fulfilling life we built together. I reignited connections with my extended family, including my cousin who had reached out during my estranged family's visit. We developed profound bonds rooted in trust, mutual respect, and shared values, a testament to the idea that family transcends blood ties and is instead built on love, understanding, and shared experiences. As for my estranged family, they continued to navigate their own set of challenges. From afar, I wished them well but remained firm in my decision to pursue my path. The scars from the past didn't disappear, but transformed into reminders of the strength and resilience I had found within myself. My journey became a story of triumph over adversity, of discovering love and belonging in the most unexpected places, and of building a life aligned with my values and dreams. It stood as a powerful example of how our choices shape us and the immense capacity of the human spirit to overcome and thrive despite obstacles. As time passed, my business flourished and evolved into a community-centered enterprise. We began supporting local farmers and artisans, expanding our product range to highlight the unique talents within our region. Our commitment to sustainable practices and dedication to quality helped us cultivate a loyal customer base. This deep connection with our community enabled us to contribute in meaningful ways, from supporting local charities to organizing events that celebrated our collective values. As our children grew, we instilled in them the virtues of hard work, empathy, and resilience. They learned the true meaning of family, not solely defined by blood, but by love and shared experiences. Our home became a sanctuary for their growth, fostering an environment where they felt loved, nurtured, and encouraged to chase their dreams. The support from my in-laws remained unwavering throughout. They were not just in-laws, but the family I had chosen, and I couldn't be more grateful for their love and acceptance. My mother-in-law in particular became a cherished friend and confidant, offering her wisdom and guidance as I navigated life's challenges. Meanwhile, my cousin and I continued to strengthen our bond. Our regular interactions not only reinforced our connection, but also allowed us to share in life's joys and challenges. This relationship underscored the enduring power of the chosen family, where genuine love and understanding prevailed amidst the broader tapestry of life. I found peace in my decision to leave the past behind. While my estranged family navigated their challenges, I concentrated on the present and the future. My husband, my children, and the supportive circle of people around me became my pillars of strength. They continually reminded me that a loving and supportive family can emerge from the most unexpected places. My journey is a testament to the idea that family is not defined solely by blood ties. Instead, it's a bond forged through love, shared values, and mutual respect. Having been disowned by my biological family, I've traveled a long path that has strengthened my resilience and deepened my understanding of what family truly means. This experience has taught me the immense value of the love and kinship that can be discovered in the most surprising places.